Men are moved by two levers only: fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte. Most people think conversations are about exchanging information. They believe words are enough. That's naive. Every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance for power. Hidden agendas are the norm, not the exception. People rarely say what they truly mean. They mask their desires, conceal their insecurities, and maneuver for advantage. Those who fail to recognize this are consistently outplayed, manipulated, and left wondering why they always end up on the losing side. This isn't about paranoia, it's about reality. Human beings are complex, driven by motivations they often don't even understand themselves. Understanding these hidden agendas is the key to navigating the social landscape successfully. It's about seeing the board while everyone else is still figuring out the pieces. We're here to provide the tools to see through the fog, to recognize the unspoken desires, and to anticipate the moves your opponents are about to make. Forget surface-level communication. We delve into the undercurrents, the unspoken needs, and the strategic calculations that drive every interaction. You'll learn to identify the subtle cues, the inconsistencies in language, and the body language giveaways that reveal the true intentions behind the carefully constructed facade. The world operates on hidden agendas. Don't be blind to them. The driving force behind these hidden agendas is often fear. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear of losing control. These anxieties simmer beneath the surface, coloring every word and influencing every action. A person might agree with you outwardly while secretly resenting your position, plotting to undermine you at the first opportunity. Another might shower you with praise, not out of genuine admiration, but as a calculated move to gain your favor and exploit your resources later on. The human mind is a master of deception, even deceiving itself. People create elaborate narratives to justify their actions, concealing their true motives even from their own conscious awareness. This self-deception makes detecting hidden agendas even more challenging. It's not enough to simply listen to the words being spoken. You have to understand the underlying psychology, the fears and desires that are driving the behavior. Consider the colleague who consistently volunteers for extra tasks, always eager to help, always putting in the extra hours. On the surface, they appear to be dedicated and selfless, but a deeper analysis might reveal a hidden agenda, a desperate need for validation, a fear of being seen as inadequate, or a calculated attempt to curry favor with the boss in hopes of a promotion. Their actions are not driven by altruism, but by a deep-seated insecurity. Similarly, the friend who always offers unsolicited advice may not be motivated by genuine concern for your well-being. They might be subtly asserting their dominance, positioning themselves as superior, and subtly diminishing your own competence. The advice itself may be well-intentioned, but the underlying motivation is rooted in a need to feel powerful and in control. These hidden agendas are not always malicious or consciously planned. They often arise from deeply ingrained patterns of behavior, developed over years of social conditioning. People learn to mask their true feelings, to manipulate situations to their advantage, often without even realizing they're doing it. This makes it even more critical to develop a keen awareness of the subtle cues and inconsistencies that betray these hidden motives. Body language is a powerful indicator. A forced smile, a nervous fidget, a subtle shift in posture can all reveal the true emotions that are being concealed beneath the surface. Pay attention to the microexpressions, the fleeting muscle movements that betray a person's true feelings before they have a chance to consciously suppress them. A brief flash of anger, a hint of disgust, a fleeting moment of sadness can all provide valuable insights into their hidden agenda. The words themselves can also provide clues if you know how to listen. Pay attention to inconsistencies in their language, to phrases that seem out of place, to topics they avoid. Listen for the subtle qualifiers, the words like but or however that negate everything that came before. Notice the changes in their tone of voice, the pauses and hesitations that betray a lack of confidence or sincerity. The art of decoding hidden agendas is not about becoming cynical or distrustful. It's about developing a deeper understanding of human behavior, a more nuanced perspective on social interactions. It's about recognizing that people are complex, that their motivations are often hidden, and that the surface-level communication is rarely the whole story. By learning to see beneath the surface, you can protect yourself from manipulation, navigate social situations with greater confidence, and build more authentic and meaningful relationships. Understanding the psychological drivers behind hidden agendas also allows you to anticipate the moves your opponents are about to make. If you can accurately assess their fears, their desires, and their insecurities, you can predict their behavior with greater accuracy. This gives you a significant advantage in any negotiation, any social interaction, any power dynamic. You can anticipate their objections, preempt their attacks, and steer the conversation in a direction that benefits you. Think of it like this. Everyone is playing a game of chess, but some players are playing with their eyes closed. By learning to see the board, you gain a strategic advantage that allows you to outmaneuver your opponents and achieve your desired outcome. This is not about exploiting others or manipulating them for your own selfish gain. It's about protecting yourself, asserting your boundaries, and ensuring that you are not taken advantage of. It's about playing the game on your own terms, with your eyes wide open. The key is to approach every interaction with a healthy dose of skepticism, a willingness to question the surface-level communication, and a commitment to understanding the underlying psychology. Don't take anything at face value. Ask yourself, what is this person really trying to achieve? What are they afraid of? What are they hoping to gain? By constantly asking these questions, you can gradually uncover the hidden agendas that are shaping the interaction and gain a deeper understanding of the person you are dealing with. And remember, the most effective way to detect hidden agendas is to be honest and authentic yourself. When you are genuine and transparent, it becomes easier to spot the inconsistencies and deceptions in others. Let's consider a scenario, a seemingly innocuous request from a colleague, Sarah, at your workplace. She approaches you with a smile and a seemingly innocent inquiry. She says, "Hey, I'm swamped with these reports and I know you're really good with spreadsheets. Would you mind just taking a quick look at this data and making sure everything adds up? It would really save me a lot of time." On the surface, this appears to be a simple request for assistance, a colleague helping a colleague. But let's delve deeper and explore the potential hidden agendas that might be at play. First, consider Sarah's motivation. Is she truly overwhelmed, or is there another reason she is delegating this task to you? Is she trying to avoid the work herself because she finds it tedious or challenging? Is she hoping to use your expertise to make herself look better to your boss by presenting accurate data without actually putting in the effort? Or perhaps she is testing your boundaries, subtly trying to see how much she can get you to do for her. Another possibility is that she lacks confidence in her own abilities and is using you as a safety net to avoid potential mistakes. The surface narrative is that she is asking for help, but the underlying agenda might be related to her own insecurities, ambition, or desire to offload work onto others. Furthermore, consider the framing of the request. Sarah uses phrases like "just a quick look" and "save me a lot of time." These are minimizing statements designed to make the task seem less burdensome and to make you feel guilty if you refuse. She is subtly manipulating your perception of the workload to increase the likelihood that you will agree to help. She is not being upfront about the true time commitment required, which suggests a hidden agenda of getting you to do more than you initially anticipated. Moreover, consider the broader context of your relationship with Sarah and the overall office environment. Is she known for taking advantage of others? Has she made similar requests in the past? Are there any power dynamics at play that might influence her behavior? If Sarah has a history of delegating her work to others, it is more likely that her request is part of a pattern of behavior rather than a genuine need for assistance. If she is in a position of authority, she might be leveraging her power to pressure you into doing her work. If the office environment is highly competitive, she might be trying to sabotage you by distracting you from your own tasks or by taking credit for your work. To decode Sarah's hidden agenda, You need to pay attention to her nonverbal cues, her tone of voice, and the specific language she uses. Is she making direct eye contact, or is she avoiding your gaze? Is her voice sincere, or does it sound forced or insincere? Is she being transparent about the reasons for her request, or is she being vague or evasive? If you detect any inconsistencies between her words and her behavior, it is a sign that there might be a hidden agenda at play. Now, how do you respond to this situation? One option is to simply refuse, but that might damage your relationship with Sarah and create tension in the workplace. A more strategic approach is to acknowledge her request while also setting clear boundaries. You could say something like, "I understand you're busy, but I'm also working on a tight deadline. I can take a look at the data later this week, but I won't be able to do it right away." This response allows you to be helpful without sacrificing your own priorities. It also communicates that you are aware of your own workload and that you are not willing to be taken advantage of. Another approach is to ask clarifying questions to uncover her true motivations. You could say, "What specifically are you having trouble with? Is there a particular aspect of the data that you're unsure about?" By asking these questions, you can force Sarah to be more transparent about her needs and reveal any hidden agendas that she might be concealing. You might discover that she actually needs help with a specific formula, or that she is simply trying to avoid a task that she finds unpleasant. Ultimately, the best approach depends on your individual circumstances and your relationship with Sarah. But the key is to be aware of the potential hidden agendas that might be at play and to respond in a way that protects your own interests while also maintaining a professional and respectful demeanor. Remember, every interaction is a negotiation, and by understanding the underlying psychology and the hidden agendas of others, you can navigate these interactions more effectively and achieve your desired outcomes. This skill of detecting hidden agendas isn't about being paranoid or assuming the worst of everyone. It's about being realistic and recognizing that people often have motivations that are more complex than what they reveal on the surface. By honing your ability to see beneath the surface, you can make more informed decisions, protect yourself from manipulation, and build stronger, more authentic relationships. The crucial mistake the weak make is assuming everyone operates with the same level of honesty and directness that they do. This naivety is a gaping vulnerability, an open door for those with less scrupulous intentions. They believe that a person's words are a perfect reflection of their thoughts, failing to grasp the concept of strategic ambiguity or outright deception. This is why they are so easily caught off guard by the subtle manipulations and veiled requests that are the hallmarks of a hidden agenda. They are playing checkers while their opponent is playing chess, completely oblivious to the long-term strategy unfolding before them. They see a simple request for help, but they fail to see the underlying power dynamic, the attempt to offload responsibility, or the subtle erosion of their own boundaries. They are so eager to be seen as helpful and accommodating that they sacrifice their own time, energy, and resources without considering the true cost. This eagerness stems from a deep-seated need for validation and approval. They crave the recognition and appreciation of others, and they are willing to compromise their own needs to obtain it. This desire for external validation makes them incredibly susceptible to manipulation. They are easily swayed by flattery, guilt trips, or appeals to their sense of obligation. They become trapped in a cycle of overcommitment and resentment, constantly giving more than they receive and feeling perpetually drained and unappreciated. This pattern of behavior is not only unsustainable, but it also reinforces the perception that they are easy to take advantage of. People quickly learn that they can rely on them to say yes, to go the extra mile, to pick up the slack. And once this reputation is established, it becomes increasingly difficult to break free from it. They become the default choice for undesirable tasks, the go-to person for favors, the reliable source of support that others exploit without a second thought. The truly skilled social strategist, on the other hand, understands that every interaction is a potential power play. They are constantly assessing the motivations and intentions of others, looking for inconsistencies between their words and their actions. They recognize that people rarely say exactly what they mean, and they are adept at reading between the lines, interpreting nonverbal cues and uncovering the hidden agendas that lie beneath the surface. They don't take anything at face value. They approach every request with a healthy dose of skepticism, asking themselves, what's really going on here? What does this person stand to gain? And what will it cost me? They are not afraid to say no, to set boundaries, to prioritize their own needs. They understand that their time and energy are valuable resources, and they are careful to invest them wisely. They don't seek external validation. They derive their sense of worth from within, from their own accomplishments and their own values. This internal sense of security makes them less vulnerable to manipulation. They are not easily swayed by flattery or guilt trips, and they are not afraid to stand up for themselves. They maintain a clear sense of their own boundaries, and they are quick to enforce them. They understand that respect is earned, not given, and they are willing to assert themselves to ensure that they are treated fairly. This is not about being selfish or inconsiderate. It's about being self-aware and assertive. It's about recognizing that your own needs are just as important as the needs of others, and that you have a right to protect your own interests. The weak fail because they prioritize the needs of others above their own. They are afraid of conflict, afraid of confrontation, afraid of being seen as difficult or uncooperative. They believe that being nice and accommodating is the key to building strong relationships, but they fail to realize that true respect is earned through assertiveness and self-respect. They are so busy trying to please everyone else that they forget to take care of themselves. They become doormats, allowing others to walk all over them, and they wonder why they feel so resentful and unfulfilled. The strong, on the other hand, understand that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and reciprocity. They are willing to compromise, but they are also willing to stand their ground. They are not afraid to say no, to disagree, or to challenge the status quo. They understand that conflict is a natural part of any relationship, and they are not afraid to address it directly and constructively. They prioritize their own well-being, knowing that they cannot effectively help others if they are not taking care of themselves. This is the fundamental difference between the weak and the strong. The weak are driven by fear and insecurity, while the strong are driven by self-respect and self-awareness. The weak are easily manipulated because they are desperate for approval, while the strong are immune to manipulation because they are secure in their own worth. The weak fail to see the hidden agendas of others because they are too focused on their own insecurities, while the strong are able to decode hidden agendas because they are confident in their own ability to protect themselves. The lesson is clear. To avoid becoming a victim of hidden agendas, you must cultivate self-awareness, assertiveness, and a healthy dose of skepticism. You must learn to prioritize your own needs, set clear boundaries, and stand up for yourself. You must recognize that every interaction is a potential power play, and you must be prepared to play the game with intelligence and strategy. The Machiavellian approach to decoding hidden agendas involves understanding that people rarely act purely out of altruism. Everyone has their own motivations, desires, and insecurities, and these factors inevitably influence their behavior. To effectively decipher what someone truly wants, you must operate from a place of detached observation, setting aside your own emotional biases and focusing solely on the observable facts. This means paying close attention to their words, their body language, and their patterns of behavior. Words can be deceptive, but body language often betrays true feelings and intentions. Look for inconsistencies between what someone says and what their body language conveys. Are they smiling while delivering bad news? Are they avoiding eye contact when making a promise? These subtle cues can reveal hidden agendas that words are designed to conceal. Furthermore, analyze their patterns of behavior over time. Do they consistently gravitate towards certain types of people? Do they always seem to benefit from certain situations? By identifying these patterns, you can begin to understand their underlying motivations and predict their future actions. The Machiavellian strategist also understands the power of leverage. People are often willing to compromise their own values or betray their own interests in exchange for something they desperately desire. By identifying these desires, you can gain leverage over them and influence their behavior. This doesn't necessarily mean resorting to outright blackmail or coercion, but rather understanding what motivates them and using that knowledge to your advantage. For example, if you know that someone is driven by a desire for recognition, you can offer them public praise or opportunities to showcase their talents. This can make them more receptive to your ideas and more willing to cooperate with your goals. Another key aspect of the Machiavellian approach is to cultivate a network of informants. The more information you have about the people around you, the better equipped you will be to decode their hidden agendas. This means building relationships with people who are willing to share information, even if that information is not always flattering or comfortable to hear. Be discreet in your inquiries and avoid revealing your own intentions. The goal is to gather information without arousing suspicion or creating enemies. The Machiavellian strategist also understands the importance of playing the long game. Decoding hidden agendas is not a one-time task, but rather an ongoing process of observation, analysis, and adaptation. People's motivations and desires can change over time, so it's important to stay vigilant and continue to monitor their behavior. Be patient and persistent, and don't be afraid to adjust your strategy as new information becomes available. Remember that the ultimate goal is not to manipulate or exploit others, but rather to protect yourself from being manipulated or exploited. By understanding the hidden agendas of those around you, you can make informed decisions and avoid becoming a pawn in someone else's game. Finally, the Machiavellian approach requires a certain degree of ruthlessness. This doesn't mean being cruel or malicious, but rather being willing to make difficult decisions and prioritize your own interests, even if it means disappointing or upsetting others. The world is full of people who are trying to take advantage of you, and you cannot afford to be naive or sentimental. You must be willing to stand up for yourself, protect your boundaries, and pursue your goals with unwavering determination. This requires a clear understanding of your own values and priorities, as well as a willingness to make sacrifices along the way. It also requires the ability to detach yourself emotionally from the situation and make decisions based on logic and reason, rather than sentimentality or guilt. In essence, the Machiavellian approach to decoding hidden agendas is about understanding human nature, mastering the art of observation, and playing the game of life with intelligence and strategy. It's about recognizing that every interaction is a potential power play and being prepared to defend yourself against those who would seek to exploit you. It's about cultivating self-awareness, assertiveness, and a healthy dose of skepticism. And ultimately, it's about taking control of your own destiny and ensuring that you are the master of your own fate. The strong will always be aware of the wolves in sheep's clothing. They are always aware, always calculating, always preparing. Think of empires throughout history. Their rise and fall weren't determined solely by military might or economic prowess. The real game was often hidden, played out in the shadows of courtly intrigue, diplomatic maneuvering, and the subtle shifts of public opinion. A king might outwardly declare war on a neighboring kingdom, citing territorial disputes or broken treaties. But the true agenda might be far more complex, securing vital trade routes, eliminating a political rival who threatened his power, or distracting the populace from internal unrest. Look at the Roman Empire, for example. The Punic Wars, ostensibly fought over control of Sicily, were in reality a struggle for dominance over the entire Mediterranean world. Carthage, a powerful maritime republic, represented a direct challenge to Rome's burgeoning ambitions. The Romans understood that controlling the seas meant controlling trade, resources, and ultimately power. Their propaganda machine skillfully demonized the Carthaginians, portraying them as treacherous and barbaric, thereby justifying their aggressive expansionism. Even seemingly trivial events like the assassination of a minor official could be manipulated to trigger a full-scale conflict. Similarly, consider the Cold War. The ideological battle between the United States and the Soviet Union was not merely a clash of political systems. It was a contest for global influence, a struggle to control resources, markets, and strategic territories. Both superpowers engaged in elaborate campaigns of espionage, propaganda, and proxy wars, often disguising their true motives behind a facade of promoting democracy or defending against aggression. The Vietnam War, for instance, was portrayed as a fight against communist expansion, but it also served to contain Soviet influence in Southeast Asia and protect American economic interests in the region. These examples illustrate a crucial point. Official narratives are often designed to conceal, rather than reveal, the true agendas driving events. Just as empires engage in deception to achieve their goals, individuals often employ similar tactics in their personal and professional lives. People are strategic animals. We often hide behind a guise of altruism, cooperation, or even friendship, while pursuing our own hidden agendas. A colleague might offer to help you with a project, but their true motivation might be to sabotage your efforts and advance their own career. A friend might shower you with compliments, but their ulterior motive might be to manipulate you into doing them a favor. Recognizing these hidden agendas requires a keen awareness of human psychology and the ability to see through the smokescreens of social convention. It demands that you look beyond the surface and analyze the underlying motives driving people's actions. Understanding the historical context of empires and wars provides valuable insights into the dynamics of hidden agendas. It teaches us that power struggles are often disguised as noble causes, that official narratives are often misleading, and that true motivations are often concealed beneath layers of deception. By studying these historical patterns, we can develop a more sophisticated understanding of human behavior and become better equipped to navigate the complex social landscape. History is a tool. The rise and fall of empires offer a rich tapestry of strategic thinking, manipulation, and deception. Analyzing these historical events allows us to distill timeless principles that can be applied to our own lives. For example, the concept of divide and conquer, famously employed by Julius Caesar, is still relevant today. In the corporate world, managers might use this strategy to weaken employee solidarity and maintain control. In personal relationships, individuals might use it to sow discord between friends or family members. Similarly, the art of propaganda perfected by Nazi Germany is still widely used in political campaigns, advertising, and even social media. Understanding how propaganda works, how it uses emotional appeals, repetition, and misinformation to influence public opinion, is essential for critical thinking and resisting manipulation. Another valuable lesson from history is the importance of alliances. Empires often forge alliances with weaker states to gain access to resources, manpower, or strategic territory. In our own lives, building strong alliances can provide us with support, resources, and opportunities that we might not otherwise have. However, it is also crucial to be aware of the potential downsides of alliances. Allies can betray you, exploit you, or drag you into conflicts that you would rather avoid. Therefore, it is essential to choose your allies carefully and to be clear about your own interests and boundaries. The study of history also teaches us the importance of adaptability. Empires that are unable to adapt to changing circumstances are doomed to decline and fall. The same is true in our own lives. The world is constantly changing, and we must be willing to adapt our strategies and tactics in order to succeed. This requires a willingness to learn new skills, embrace new technologies, and challenge our own assumptions. Ultimately, decoding hidden agendas is about understanding the human condition. It's about recognizing that people are complex, motivated by a variety of factors, and capable of both great good and great evil. By studying history, we can gain a deeper understanding of these complexities and develop the skills necessary to navigate the treacherous waters of human interaction. The game is always afoot. Every interaction, every conversation, every relationship is a potential battlefield. Those who are aware of the hidden agendas at play are more likely to emerge victorious. Ignorance is not bliss, it is a liability. It leaves you vulnerable to manipulation, exploitation, and ultimately defeat. The path to success lies in knowledge, awareness, and a willingness to see the world as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. The patterns of manipulation are cyclical. History repeats itself, not because people are inherently evil, but because the same basic human motivations, the desire for power, wealth, and status, drive behavior across time and cultures. By understanding these motivations, we can anticipate the actions of others and protect ourselves from their machinations. We can learn to see the invisible strings that control their movements, the hidden levers that manipulate their thoughts and emotions. This is not about becoming cynical or paranoid. It's about becoming realistic. It's about acknowledging the darker aspects of human nature and developing the skills necessary to defend ourselves against them. It's about taking control of our own lives and refusing to be puppets in someone else's game. The stakes are high. The consequences of ignorance can be devastating. Those who are unaware of hidden agendas are easily led astray, manipulated into making bad decisions, and ultimately robbed of their freedom and autonomy. But those who are aware, those who can see through the deception, are empowered to make informed choices, protect their interests, and chart their own course. They are the masters of their own destiny, the architects of their own success. The ability to discern hidden agendas is not merely a defensive tactic, it is a key to proactive influence. Once you understand the underlying motives driving others' behavior, you can anticipate their moves, sidestep their traps, and redirect their energies to serve your own purposes. It's about seeing the board from a higher vantage point, recognizing the patterns and possibilities that are invisible to those caught up in the heat of the moment. This is not about domination, but about orchestration. It's about guiding the flow of events, shaping the narrative, and ensuring that your voice is heard and your interests are protected. It requires a subtle touch, a keen eye for detail, and a deep understanding of human psychology. You must be able to read the subtle cues, the micro-expressions, the inconsistencies in their stories, and the unspoken desires that lurk beneath the surface. You must become a master of observation, a student of human nature, and a strategist of the highest order. The world is a complex and often treacherous place, filled with hidden dangers and unseen forces. Those who navigate it successfully are not those who are naive or trusting, but those who are aware, alert, and prepared. They are the ones who understand the rules of the game and know how to play them to their advantage. They are the ones who can see through the illusions, the deceptions, and the manipulations, and make their own choices based on clear-eyed assessment of reality. This is not about being ruthless or uncaring. It's about being intelligent and self-reliant. It's about recognizing that the world is not always a fair or just place, and that you must be prepared to defend yourself and your interests against those who would exploit you. It's about taking responsibility for your own life